Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday, and all of our guests today, including Ray Ferraro, standing by in Texas, sponsored by Passant Motors. It's May Days at Passant. They want to make sure you love your ride. Check them out at PassantMotors.com, BASANTmotors.com, and find a ride you will love. We're joined now by Ray Ferraro from the NHL on ESPN, Canucks analyst on Sportsnet as well. In Dallas, where last night the Stars, Rick, we talked about it earlier, beat the Oilers, came back to do so 6-3. Ray, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I certainly did not see a 5-goal third period coming, especially the way the first 40 minutes had played out.
Was that all about power plays and penalties, Ray, from the Oilers side of things?
I always think it's more than one thing, in a game. Like, there's lots of factors. But last night they had played so well, Edmonton, for 40 minutes, and then it's 3 power play goals in 6 minutes, and you're like, it really was nothing else. Like, by the time those power plays sorted out, now all of a sudden, for the first time in the game, Edmonton's behind. They had Draisaitl and McDavid apart for the most of the time in the first 2 periods. Now they got them together. Like, it's not panic, but it's like holy urgency, and you run out of time. And as well as they played in the first 2 periods, I mean their penalty killing's not been great, but they opened the door for Dallas is I think what happened, and Dallas just rammed right through it.
Their PK is ranked last among the 4 teams that are remaining. Ray, is there anything obviously wrong with their penalty killing?
You mean other than they can't keep the puck out of the net?
There's that. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to say no, because all 3 of the power play goals were a little different, right? You can get exposed. Maybe like you let them enter the zone too quickly, or your defense don't clear the front of the net. There's generally a theme, but the first one was a point shot, and where the game has evolved to is, everybody tries to block the point shot, and so Henrique missed it. No, Janmark missed it. Stetcher missed it, and then there was Nurse and Marchment tied up in front of the net. They missed it. And then Skinner didn't see it. So, like, somebody's either got to block that shot or get the heck out of the way. So that was the first one. The second one, Wallman was a little slow. They didn't rotate fast enough, and Janmark Granlund scores. And then the third one, it was just mayhem around the net. I think Skinner thought the first shot was in because he was all discombobulated by that time, and then Duchesne hits Hintz in the pants, and it comes right back to him, and he shoots it in the net. And so, to answer in a long way, no, I don't think it's one thing. But I would caution, don't look at a power play percentage in the playoffs like it's the gospel, because you give up 5 power play goals in a series, you're never getting that back. Like, there's not going to be enough chances for you to right the ship by a number standpoint. The only thing that matters is they've been shaky killing, and they gave up 3 last night. Now, what is their level of confidence in what they're doing going to be like for game 2? Because they're going to have to kill in game 2 at some point.
Ray, what the heck is going on in Toronto? They lose game 7. Now, what do you do with the core 4? Shanahan might leave. Oh, boy. Your thoughts on another disappointing playoff in Toronto?
Well, the way they lost, of course, is stunning. The game 5 and 7 losses were, just hard to believe. They played so well in game 6. They come back, and I want to say the shot attempts were like 22-2 or something or other. Right in the first 7 minutes, you're like, how does that even happen?
Yeah.
And so, what happens now is the whole story. I found it remarkably curious that MLSE board meetings are today.
Yep.
And they gave the Islanders the opportunity to talk to Shanahan yesterday. I mean, does that not tell you what's going on?
Yes.
Like, would you not, if it wasn't a change in order, would they not have said, hey, can we just wait till Friday and have this discussion Friday?
Yep.
But, so it seems to me like that the big change will be at the top, and then everything's going to filter from the top on down. You can make cases for, they got to the second round this year. It was the first round last year. What player is ever going to say, I don't love playing here?
Yeah.
They all do. And I'm not saying specific to Toronto. I mean, in most cases, players say, I'd like to sign here long term because, why wouldn't you? Because you don't know what's out there. Yeah. If you're not a star, you don't know what's out there. They can't come back with the same team. No matter what you say, it's been a decade of quasi-success, but they have a higher bar that they want to achieve. The problem is you can't just say, let's let Marner go for free. Let's let Tavares go for free. Now you've got two enormous holes. Now you could say, hey, we got all that cap space. We got $24 million in cap space. I'm sure you guys have looked at the free agent list this year.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's really thin. And so I think right around the draft, I think is going to be this has a chance to be the most, have the most significant player moves of years that we've seen in a long, long time. Because teams are looking to make changes like they always do, but the free agents aren't there. And so that means the only other way you can do it is with trades. I'm strong in this position. You're weak there. Can we work something?
Yeah.
And I think there's a chance for a lot of action to happen in that regard.
Absolutely. Hey, we have not got your thoughts on what happened in Vancouver. Rick Tocchet out, Adam Foote in. First talk about Tocchet saying no and moving on, and then the Canucks picking Adam Foote. Your thoughts on both?
Well, when I think we talked about Talk earlier in that, halfway through the season, there was a group of people that thought he was uncreative, wasn't a great coach. They should fire him at one point. And then now that he decides to leave, there's a collection of people that are now up in arms about that he took a 4.5 or whatever the number was offer and said no. And so whatever all the factors are, and there's a million to talk about, he decided the time was right to go. Despite Seattle talking to him, it always felt like he was going to go to Philly, didn't it? Like if he was going anywhere, it felt like it was Philly. And he's got really close ties with Keith Jones, who's the president. Of course, he was a terrific, terrifying flyer in his day. I think Talk's a good coach. I really do. And I think you coach how you feel the team can be most successful in that moment. And I remember there was a time when people thought Mike Babcock couldn't coach offense. And then he went to Detroit and he didn't have a bunch of checkers. He had a bunch of Hall of Famers, and they changed the way that they viewed the game. You coach what you feel is the best for your team. Like, do you think Talk's going to go there and open up the game in Philly? Yeah. He can't. They don't have any centermen. Their defense is average. He's going to have to coach around those holes, and he knows that. As for Adam Foote getting a chance, I laugh at the both sides of the argument. Do you hire an experienced guy? Do you hire and then when you hire an experienced guy like Chicago's doing today with Jeff Blashill, there'll be thoughts of, this is a guy that's a retread or a rehire. It's his, but then if you hire somebody that's never coached in the league, right away their inexperience becomes an issue. Like, you can't have both. You can't be 35 years old and have NHL experience. It doesn't happen that way. I think Foote's a good coach. Is he going to be a great head coach? I guess we're going to find out. I'm interested because Adam is, I don't know how much you guys have talked to him, but he's really direct. Mm-hmm. Like, I can see why him and Talk were tight. Like, why they fit together, because there's no really beating around the edges. They're like, okay, here we are. This is what we need to do. This is how we're going to do it. And I'm really interested to see who the staff fills in around him, because he won't be coaching the defense anymore. Like, when you're a head coach, you just you're the manager. You're like the right term is manager, as opposed to just being a coach. And I guess we're going to have to see, because how will they run a power play? Hopefully better than last year. Yeah. How will they attack offensively? Remember, at the start of the year, they wanted to get more motion. They wanted to attack off the rush. It didn't work, but they tried a different tact. I'm curious to see what Adam's thoughts are on how they're going to create offense, because that's something that needs to be a little more fluid. And can you find a way to do it?
Hey, Ray, with just changing direction here a bit here, with Brad Marchand and Shane Gostisbehere in mind, has anybody taken a shot at you from close range with a puck?
Well, funny, I brought this. So we just did literally we taped our podcast about an hour ago. Yep. So I told this story, and I know our vintage will know this, but the younger people won't. But Dave Manson was a terrifying defenseman, terrifying. And so he was, I think, in Chicago. I was with the Islanders, and we were in front of the net, and he was, shoving me around or whatever. And as the puck got cleared down the ice, I gave him a little hack in the back of the legs, and then I scurried away because I wasn't going to hang around there. That was not going to be the right decision. So as I skated away, we tried some kind of breakout pass. I'm not really sure. And the puck ended up back in Dave's hands. And I was at the blue line. He was like right in front of the net, kind of, just a few feet in front of the net. And I had just enough time to go, he's going to shoot this at me. Like I don't know why, but it just kind of lined up that way. And he was just clearing it down the ice, right? Except it went right over top of me. And I was headed right to I was ducking down. It was just enough to go, I think he's going to shoot this at me. And so in that moment, I was like, time to bail. And where the puck went, I have no idea, because my eyes were closed and my hands were over my head. I was like, this is not a good place to be.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the Daniel Alfredsson, Scott Niedermayer incident back at, was it the 07 Stanley Cup final? That was really dangerous. I'd forgotten all about it.
Well, it doesn't sound like much. Like, who was was it a Montreal player earlier this year that shot the puck at the end of the game and he got fined $5,000? It was either against Montreal or for Montreal. You don't think much of it, but if the puck's coming at you 70 to 80 miles an hour,
it's a bullet.
Man, you got a problem if that hits you. Yes. And so when Gostisbehere did that, it wasn't much, it wasn't much to lead up to it, but he didn't clearly like that Marchand hit him at the end of that play. And then, what do they say? That escalated quickly. And, if I were Marchand, I could see why he was really sour, and he turned around and chased him back.
I'd imagine during the Manson incident, you were probably really happy you're not 6'4" or 6'5". It would have been tough to get out of the way.
Donnie, there was no bravery in that moment. And it's funny because every once in a while you lock vision with somebody and you can see their intent. And like sometimes you could tell that, that guy's not going to stop. He's going to run right through me. Like you could just sense it by whatever was happening. And in that moment, I was like, he's going to shoot this at me. And whether he was shooting it at me or just scaring me by getting it close, I'm not kidding. I have no idea where the puck went because I had my eyes closed and I was on the way to the ground. I was not going to hang around.
Well, we're glad you survived.
Yes.
Ray, thanks for this. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys, thanks for waiting. A little bit of a slow omelet delivery took precedence today. So
wow.
What are you going to do? What are you do? Still had to eat.
Yeah.
I know you guys. The stomach fuels. You got to eat.
Priorities.
You betcha.
Okay.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.